How's it going, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Trailmakers Creations by ThatDomGuy. This episode is going to be focused on helicopters. We've got three different models to look at. This being the first one. This is the Hornet, the Light Attack, or the LA Hornet. This is the Wraith series of helicopters. So this is the smallest, and we'll be working our way up to the heaviest. So this is a pretty straightforward, simple helicopter. It looks kind of straightforward and simple. It's got a couple of cool functions built into it. As you can see, it's got double seats in the front there, and you can see that there's obviously some cannons on the front as well. We got some pipe pieces here as our automatic landing gear that comes out of the back here. A little bit of wee bit of a stabilizer there with a couple of helicopter engines in the middle. And yeah, we'll jump in here and we'll have a look-see. Spacebar is our main thrust. Our landing gear will automatically come up. And everything is basically off the spacebar and WASD as far as controls. And then our weapons package is E is to open them. So we've got 8. Oh yeah, we're gonna fall over sideways here. Right on. E opens our weapons. We have 4 small cannons on either side, and then we've got 2 explosive cannons that come off the nose. So left shift sets those going for air targets, and then we can shoot our explosives with left control, which are separate controls, and then E puts those back away so that we can fly away like we would normally would. So all of these choppers that I'm going to be showing you today are slightly different in design, slightly more complicated as we go along. This is a pretty straightforward one. See, you try to shoot some barrels here. Nice. Oh. Spinning a little crazy. So that's the Hornet. That's the smallest of the 3. Nothing super special about this one. Pretty just basic design, other than the simple stabilizer that's in there. And the automatic landing gear, the weapons that fold up and away. It is totally landable, not taking any damage. And again, using our piston glitch there on the bottom, you can see how those fold up inside the body on the front. And the ones on the inside, we actually have gap and space inside there, which doesn't help with speed. Doesn't like that drag in there, but man, you gotta have some weapons, or you gotta put them somewhere. Gotta have some storage, man. So that's the Hornet. I'll be uploading that to the shop. Let's take a look at our next mid-level chopper, the Shadow. So this chopper is the Wraith Shadow. This is AC, the AC Shadow. AC standing for auto cannons. These 50 caliber machine guns here in the front are set to those sensors. So within 50 meters, they automatically fire, which makes shooting things in the air a lot easier when you don't have to worry about trying to position. It'll automatically fire if your target is within range. You'll also notice that there is dual seats on this. I used the jet seat there on top and the indestructible seat on the bottom. Thought it'd be kind of cool, get a cool look with 2 different types of seats in there. Not that it really makes any difference. You don't need a co-pilot because there's nothing super fancy to do, nothing to shoot because it'll fire automatically on its own. Again, spacebar is our normal full power thrust, but number 1 will give us hover mode, which gives us just enough power to lift off. It's also really good for strafing targets on the ground. If you want to stay nice and low, bang, bang, bang. Anything within 50 meters is going to get taken out. Spacebar again will give us the power that we need. Left shift will bring us down. Okay, settle down, settle down. So again, these choppers do take some finesse. Oh, that was not cool. That was not cool. A wee bit close to the barrel on that one, I think. So yeah, number 1 gives you basically hover mode. Keeps you nice and low. Minimum power control. Spacebar gives you the rest of the power that you need. W gives you your thrusters for your forward thrust. You'll fly basically straight, get to where you need to go. And again, the cannons are automatic. So as soon as you get within 50 meters of something, right, especially if you're dogfighting, all you gotta do is hover up in the air like this. Boom. You get nice rapid fire machine gun action. You know what this would be really good at taking out? I bet you this would take down a balloon. Let's see how well this works. Hey, Mr. Balloon Man. What's happening? Say hello to my little friend. You don't have to worry about having good aim. It'll fire automatically. Oh, yeah. Finish him. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, you know, that's how you dogfight in this game. Nice. Finish him. What? Oh. What happened there? You see that? Just teleported into another dimension. What's up with that? Okay, let's finish this guy off. Oh! Disconnected the balloon. Yeah, it's going up faster than we can go up, though. That's no good. Oh, looks like it's Gandhi. Going up too fast. Oh well, we took it out of the air pretty well. So that is the Wraith Shadow with auto cannons. That works really well for air-to-air combat. Again, left shift is down, and we can just turn off number 1. That'll drop us down pretty quick. You know, this is just pulling straight down without any power on. No hover mode, no space bar. Now we'll hit number 1. Slow us down a little wee bit for a nice landing. Turn number 1 off, and we'll just shoot this here container for a little bit. Yeah, I'll be uploading that as well. These cannons seem to work really well. The glitch in there's actually 6 cannons. You can see it's basically laid out like this in a 4 pattern. On the end of 2 of these pistons are cannons, and then a small U-joint pipe piece that pops out, a little 90 degree I should say. And it pops out here, connects to the small cannon, so you got 4 out front, and then in the gaps in between the 2 pistons back here, you have one on the top and one on the bottom. So those pistons just fold back inside, and you've got actually 6 cannons, so you can get a steady stream machine gun like that. You just set them to 0.1 input time. Alright, let's take a look at the big boy, the heavy lift. So I had a viewer request for a tri-bladed chopper. So I built this big bad boy. Now, I don't know if he meant like 3 blades on the propeller itself or 3 sets of propellers. So I translated it to this. So this big boy here, auto landing gear, single seat in the front here, pretty chunky body, and a prototype rear end. It's like I called it the twist tail. So we've basically got a servo back here that twists the whole thing, which aids in our steering left and right. So let's jump in. Again, this one here, number 1, gives us our hover mode, takeoff, minimum power. Our landing gear will automatically fold up and in. This is armed as well. So our twist tail works like this. As we rotate the rotor left and right, the rear rotor actually pulls us to the left and to the right. WASD controlled as well. We can lean forward. That gives us a bit of boost in the back there. As we fall forward, we get some lift. But of course, spacebar will give us full power so that we can actually move at a decent speed. It's a decent design as well. You can see the rows of linear cannons up front there. E will activate those. So those actually fire pretty fast as well. This is like the 50mm cannons on the Shadow. Left shift is our down for here as well. It's not quite as fast on this one. But we do have our auto landing gear detected by that sensor on the bottom there. We just come in for a landing simply like this. S gives you a little bit of backwards force to straighten yourself out, slow yourself down. And if you just hold left shift, bring you down nice and easy. As you can see, it is stabilized, so it stays nice and level. Landing gear comes down automatically. Bada boom. Turn number 1 off. And there we go. So those cannons fire across from the outside in at that same rate of 0.1. There's 6 on either side. There's no sensors on there, but you probably could put some sensors on there to automatically fire. Or you could set it up to a firing trigger of your own and then have sensors there so that when you are dogfighting up and close, you just have to worry about facing your target. You don't have to worry about exactly firing or hitting a button when he's directly in front leading your target and all that. If he's within range, it'll fire. So that is the heavy lift. You can also use the spacebar to just take off straight away, just like that. And that twist tail there, you can see how that turns the rear end of the chopper around. Just with that, I believe it's like a 10-degree rotation on the servo. So that was a fun build as well. You can let that fall out of the sky with nothing. It's pretty balanced. Hit number 1. And we'll just go into hover mode. It will basically correct itself. Stay nice and level. Which is perfect up here for taking out targets floating in the air. Or I guess you could bomb guys on the ground too, but you don't have any exploding cannons. So that's not going to be too easy. You'd be chipping away at them forever using these cannons. But this would take people out of the sky for sure. This is mainly a transport. Deep transport. Heavy lift, cargo, lots of dudes, lots of ammunition. Get it on site, on scene. Landing's pretty easy with this as well. Usually keep number 1 on. Just bring it down with your left shift. Nice and easy. Turn off your landing gear. Boom. All good. So yeah, I've actually been building quite a few things lately. These 3 helicopters were 3 very similar designs that I was working on at the same time. So I thought I'd show them all to you at the same time. I do have a bonus build to show you for the end of this video. Thanks for tuning in and staying to the end. So let's have a look at that. It's a helicopter hover. Kind of a weird build, but a simple build might give you an idea of something to build on your own. So let's take a look at that. So I got this little green guy. I have no idea what its name is. There is no name for it yet. But this was a test of hiding the small propellers in hover pads. Yeah, just, hey, I wonder if that's possible, man. Let me see if that's possible. So, we'll jump in. We'll see the hover pads kick in. We got 6 of them. And inside each one of those hover pads is small propellers that are set up to the space bar and obviously opposite so that when we push space, it'll push us up into the air rather than pull us downwards. But they're actually set inside. So let's take a look at that in build mode so you can see that they're actually there. So you can see here in build mode that they're just outside of the edge of the perimeter of the box of the hover pad. You have a piston here set on a block, and then the piston of the propeller itself is 2 blocks wide, so the bottom of it just gets tucked right inside the hover pad, and all you can see is this block sticking out the top. So we'll build that in. You can see they get shrunk in, and that's all we can see there on the top of the hover pad is just the top of the propeller. So if you balance it right, what you end up with is a hovercraft that goes like this. And I've got it set up with a 1-second delay for pulling off of the water or the tension between the hover pads and the ground. So after 1 second they'll turn off, but that gives the propellers time to power up. So holding spacebar. And now we're basically a helicopter. So those propellers are inside the hover pads, and we're now kind of a seat controlled helicopter. So I'm holding down the spacebar right now, and that's what keeps the hover pads off. So if I want those to come back on, all I have to do is let go of the spacebar. Now I can tap the spacebar to use my propellers to come in for a nice landing like this. And if you're good enough with steering or with the throttle control, you can also use your blades to bring you down to the water like this. And then just use W for forward your thrusters, and you have a normal hovercraft. So it's nice that you can fly along on the water like this, and then just hold spacebar, and away you go. Flying away in what looks like a jet, but it's not really a jet, it's a helicopter. It's more a helicopter than anything. A hovercopter. Helicopter? A hover chopper? A chopper hover? You tell me. So what should the name of this thing be? If you've got a good suggestion for a name for this thing, leave it in the comments down below. So that was a fun experiment as well. And then jump out to turn those hover pads off. Get out of first person view. Cool. So yeah, if you got a name for it, leave it down below. I think we're gonna leave that one here. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit subscribe, hit that like button, leave a comment, let me know which chopper you like the best. And if you enjoyed this, check out some of this content on the end screen here, and we will see you in the next one. Ciao.